Live from the lavatory. Welcome to the Close Traffic Podcast, an aviation and flight simulation show. Welcome aboard.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Closed Traffic Podcast, your flight sim and all things aviation related show. We've got a really great guest today, but before I go ahead and get started, Charlie, you look like you in a dark room, man. There you go.
Oh my gosh,
that was hilarious. Charlie looked like we'll eventually upload this, I think, at some point, but Charlie looked like he was backstage at like a Today Show appearance.
I'll stay in here.
And then so boom, the big reveal.
You found him.
That was hilarious. Charlie, man, what's up, man? Say what's up to the people.
Man, not much, bro. Just hotter than Hades around here.
I heard I had a meeting with someone this morning from work that was in your area, and they're like, man, it's so humid. I walk outside and my shirt is no longer wrinkled. Like it's that bad already in early July.
This is kind of premature, honestly, but I don't remember it being like 102 in June.
Yeah, they were going through it, man.
Yeah, like you let the dogs out, and they're like, even the dogs are like, nah, I'm not going out there. I'm staying in the air conditioning.
I hear you, man. Johnny, what's going on, my friend? I know you also get this wonderful weather from time to time as well. How's it looking in Texas?
Hello, people. Oh, yeah, by the way, the air conditioning is looking for air conditioning, so that's how bad it is right now. So hope all is well, everyone.
Well, I'm glad to be near the ocean in sunny California. Good luck to you guys. No, I'm joking.
I'll count on you.
Oh, man. Without further ado, like I mentioned, we've got a wonderful show today. The founder of JetCard, Mr. Sean himself, joins the Close Traffic Podcast. Sean, hello. Welcome. Say hello to the people.
Hey, thank you guys for having me. I greatly appreciate it. It is 90 here in Boston, which is not that weird for Boston this time of year, but it's going to be 100 on Saturday, I think. And that would be, we're all getting it here. We're all getting it. We're all getting it. The air conditioning needs air conditioning.
Oh, man. I was just in Boston last week. It was very nice weather, so I guess I got out of there just in time.
Didn't hit me up, didn't call.
Man, I didn't realize, I wish
you see how Mike do people, Sean?
That's, I get in and out of these cities.
Too, Mike.
Next time. Promise. Oh, man, too cool. So listen, we've got Sean here, obviously for the reason that is the creation of a lot of the buzz, especially in the BizJet world. In flight simulation today in the last couple of months. Sean, you want to just take the audience through who you are, how JetCard came to be, and then we'll get into some other details as well.
Well, we only have an hour, but yeah. So my name is Sean Doyle. I am I'm the founder of JetCard. I have been in flight simulation. Well, let's say it's multi-phased. We'll say it's multi-phased. When I was a kid, my mom had a computer science degree, like very early, like we had a home PC. I'm only 34, but, not a lot of my friends at, 5, 6, 7, 8 had home computers, back there in the mid 90s, right? Like computers were just starting to get popular.
That's true.
Super expensive.
Very expensive. Yeah. I'll never forget, actually, my first computer, we had a hard drive that was like all my parents' financial stuff, old school Microsoft Word. And I had a hard drive, like key, you could like unlock it. And so we had to like unlock the hard drive, pull it out, and then put in the hard drive that had my my Microsoft Flight Simulator 2000 copy on it when I was like when I was like 8 or 9 years old, So flight simulation, simming has always had like a very special place in my heart. I used to mess around with it as, a kid, literally a kid, no clue what the heck I was doing. Who would have, right? And we all remember Microsoft 2000. I'm sure it just wasn't the same that we have now. We can talk about how far we've come.
Yeah.
And then as I got older, I met girls, and I played baseball, and went to college. Ironically, it's funny. We can talk about some of the other stuff I do within this community, but a lot of my friends are real world pilots and air traffic controllers. Through my experience and stuff with the VATSIM network and things like that. One of the only guys in that friend group that never went the career pilot side. We just didn't have the money growing up really to, be able to afford flight training when I was, 16, 17, 18 years old, older, etc.
Yeah.
Always been into flight simming. When I went to college, I came back out of college, I was working full time. It's like, what do I do with all this free time? My buddies are working, I'm working. I picked it back up, in 2014, 2015, and was like, man, I forgot how cool this was. So 11 years ago, just messing around with, P3, it was FSX, right? And it's sort of like the transition to the P3D era of flight simming. And, I just started messing around with it again. And then it was like magically, like I was like, oh wait, you can buy like add-on scenery and aircraft for this thing. Like it makes it look a little more realistic. Like that's cool. And picked up like the Wilco 175 and like graduated to the
Gosh, I forgot about that one.
Oh yeah, and the 145,
wow,
right? Like we used to have airplanes in the sim.
We did, man.
And graduated to the Aerosoft Airboss, and like wow. And eventually kind of like, got into VATSIM. I'll never forget the first time I keyed that mic on VATSIM. Terrified, like had never spoken a word of ATC in my life, and graduated into controlling on VATSIM all the way through C1. And so for the last 10 years, I don't control so much anymore. I really like the pilot side, but I've been involved in I'm from Boston. I'm very well involved with the Boston Virtual ARTCC.
Nice.
As a previously as a controller, I keep current there, but I wouldn't say I control much. But really, I love the flying. I really love the flying. So, all the way through, I work on the Flight Sim Expo team. We were talking kind of before the show. Evan and Phil are longtime friends. They're BVA guys in a previous life. Evan's still part of BVA.
Right.
And I got into that. I was doing sort of like sales and business development. So what I do in my real world job before I had this job. And, so I was helping with sales, business development, trying to get, exhibitors to come to the show and things like that. And even now I've kind of taken a back seat to that a little bit, more so just sort of like on weekend warrior, I would say, with them to kind of help them out. But listen, this community of flight simulation has been near and dear to my heart since I was a kid. It was instilled in me as a kid, and I'm really, it's this whole jet card thing. We can get into what that is. Has been just crazy. I had no idea it would be this popular, and shame on me for not thinking that. But I've been truly honored at how popular it's been over the last couple of months.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. We'll get into those details in a second, but that's awesome to know, man. I did not realize that you had such a in-depth history into the flight sim world. It's large but small at the same time. You know what I mean? It's interesting in that way, and I can relate to a lot of the same sentiments you had about getting into flying and stopping, picking other things up, and then getting back into it because you realize that, man, this thing is really cool. And then yes, I'll never forget being yelled at my first flight on VATSIM by Kennedy. I won't tell you his name, but it haunts me
too, don't you?
I definitely do. It's one of those things, but we talk about it all the time on the show and with real world aviators as well, how that has allowed you to become so much better if you are going out and pursuing your ticket and your certifications and whatnot. So it's really cool that you've got that experience, and I'm sure a lot of that helped create and build a foundation for what is Jet Card and today and how it's evolve.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, a lot of my, we'll talk about that. We can get into the program. A lot of my friends, most of them now are 121 flyers. JetBlue and Delta and Southwest and United and take your pick. But some of them came up, ironically through the 91K, 135 kind of private jet, operator type stuff. And where my experience is not really in aviation, it's something that I have a huge depth about, have a huge knowledge about. I think one thing that's really cool about Jet Card that you won't see with other, apps that have been developed or airplanes that have been developed, like, they have their sources for different information, but, the development of Jet Card was sort of gut checked all along the way against people, I think you guys know Blue probably and his and Element and Brian Alba. Like we had consultants. They're like, hey man, this is how it works in this world. I love that you're trying to solve this problem for us. Let me help you. And so the development of that was heavily influenced by people who they have Challenger type ratings and they have GLEX type ratings, or they work as a charter coordinator at small charter companies, things like that. Like we had the expertise along the way to kind of make sure that it had the right depth, that we did it the right way.
Oh man, that's awesome. So pivoting and going back to like the 30,000 foot level for a second, for those that were or are under a rock for the last couple of months here, explain to the audience. Yeah, no, I'm joking. They know we're joking.
I know. Explain to the. I'm from Boston. I'm a jokester. We got thick skin.
I love it. Explain to the people what Jet Card is, for those that are not familiar.
Yeah, so it's a companion app for Microsoft Flight Simulator and X-Plane 12. I'm very careful to put the asterisk there that it really, we tried to do some functionality with X-Plane 11 and it required too many plugins and too many add-on things. So X-Plane has done a phenomenal job with, like much in the way that Microsoft has Sim Connect for a lot of things.
Okay.
X-Plane kind of has developed their own back-end system for kind of like talking to the sim and tracking within the sim. So we decided really early to make that pivot. It's entirely centric on business aviation, right? We can talk about the origin if you guys want. A couple of friends and I, we're just looking for a reason to fly business jets, just so many times we were just like, where do you guys want to fly tonight? Group flight or otherwise, or I'm sitting at home and I want to do some work. And it's like, where do I fly tonight? And it's like, I haven't flown the Citation 10 in a while, or, I have this Honda jet that's sitting in the hangar. It's just not getting used. And I have a friend, John, who just like he was flight simmer for like 10 years, another BVA guy. He dropped off for like 7 or 8 years, came back, and all he wanted to do is fly business jets. And he just had no idea where to fly. And so, what Jet Card is that solution for business aviation flying, right? Nobody needs a reason to fly from Boston to Chicago because United does it and American does it and Delta does it. And, or same thing in the UK with your EasyJets and Ryanairs. What I saw was an opportunity to kind of solve the problem that like nothing in flight simulation really answers the why would I fly the Hot Start Challenger 650 today?
That's a good point.
Or why would I fly the Honda Jet or the Citation 10? And I could kind of feel this like shift in the market where like there's suddenly a lot of development for business jets. This was Falcon 50 was announced, the Sovereign 680 was announced, and so what the program is from a 30,000 foot level is an ecosystem. It's connected. I think people start looking through the website and there's maybe this gap in terms of how connected Jet Card is. 15,000 flights sit on a charter board. It is all sort of virtual customers who are at airport A and they need to get to airport B. And it's all sort of procedurally generated, sort of like charter demand. And certain airports have higher demand than other airports. And I think the beauty of Jet Card is not just like, oh, okay, I can look at a list of flights and say, oh, I'm going to fly from Bedford, Mass to Palm Beach today. yeah, okay, that might interest somebody, right? They might be like, oh,
Mhm.
well, now I know where I'm going to go. My plane's at Bedford, and I can go to Palm Beach, or I can go to Tulsa, or I can go to Telluride, right? Yeah, all right, we solved that problem. But I think where the beauty is in Jet Card is, we use AI to kind of generate narratives and backstories on
Mm-hmm.
why that trip is on the board. And so as you scroll through 15,000 flights, or we have the ability to make companies within Jet Card that you can either own or people can fly for. Um, you're not just, it's not just, okay, I'm going to fly from Bedford to Palm Beach today. It is John Smith, who is the CEO of this venture capital company, has a meeting in Palm Beach today, and he's got to be there by 6 o'clock. You're flying him down there and whatever you got. And so, like, it's immersive, right? We
Mhm.
have to walk the sim things, you have to walk the line on realism, right? There has to be some give in the realism. I like to sell that Jet Card is very immersive in terms of like, you're picking flights. Somebody has to go to Palm Beach. Here's the reason why, and you kind of get this sense, even from the earliest alpha versions we had, you get this sense of like, all right, that's why I want to fly to Palm Beach today.
Yep.
And I think we've solved something that doesn't exist in flight simulation before. I'm not gonna stand here and say like I'm not gonna beat my chest and say we're the first, but like I watched your Katie Pilot episode, right? And I watched your Not Mad episode, both friends of mine, right?
Mhm.
And both of them are like looking at the sim and they're being like, I have these frustrations with the sim. I can't
Right.
do this thing I want to do
Mm-hmm.
and I want to solve it. That same boom, same MO for Jet Card
Yep.
was like, I want to fly to Palm Beach, but like why?
Why? Yeah.
And I think we've solved that. I think we've solved that. And as you guys have kind of teed it up, I mean, we hit 2,000 users in the first 2.5 weeks, and I thought I was going to maybe sell 500 copies this year. My intent was never
Wow.
actually to turn this into something I was, my intent was
Mm-hmm.
like, hey, I did this cool thing that solves this problem for my friends.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody else wants to use it too.
Gotcha.
And
It just took
yeah.
off.
Just took off.
I think I haven't checked, but I think we're probably pretty close to 3,200 users, and we're
That's
coming up on our 2-month
insane.
anniversary next week.
That's
So
crazy. I don't
That's
know
crazy.
anything in this industry that has had that sort of growth. Like maybe
Not for
copies
an
of
add-on.
highly anticipated aircrafts, maybe.
Yeah.
But
That much
certainly
momentum.
not for not like a platform,
So quick.
an add-on platform like this that quickly.
I
But
would
here's the
bet
thing,
you
though.
Orbix moved in Atlanta, like the Atlanta scenery probably moved that kind of copies in a week. You know what I
Sure.
mean? And the
Probably,
Phenom
yeah.
probably
Yeah,
moved that kind
I
of.
can see that.
Yeah,
for,
'cause we've been waiting for
for,
Atlanta for a long time.
Yeah, haven't we? But for an add-on, for an add-on that's just a companion app thing.
Yeah, that's nuts.
I'm very thrilled. So
No, I mean, I totally think that's like the canary in the coal mine of the desert of lack of immersion that the community has been yearning for, because I think that's a lot of the reason why some users just get bored with the platform, because there's no purpose, there's no
Mhm.
drive. I think a lot of it for me, fortunately, I had the opportunity of the C500 type rating, doing some of those charter operations back in the day, and knowing that a lot of those you're not going to like Chicago to JFK, you're going to Paducah, Kentucky to like Carlsbad, New Mexico for something random,
yeah,
and
you did some energy flying in your day, huh?
Exactly.
He did.
And and you could ask the guys. I'm typically that one simmer who, if you look on VATSIM, the one aircraft going to Carlsbad, New Mexico, I'm that guy.
Me too.
I've got him flagged on my map, and I'll pull up the sim to do a flight. And I'll see Johnny's name, and I'm like, oh, I wonder where he's going today. What the hell is he doing over there? I didn't even know we had scenery over there.
But that's the beauty, guys. And I think when I think Charlie first brought up Jet Card, and I was like, man, let me check this out, and really start to do some research, and just to see what this platform was all about. It is just another one of those styles and add-ons that we see. And one thing that really resonated to me was that, like, I instantly got a flashback from like, wow, I remember having to keep this number for this FBO in my phone, or trying to make these calls coordinating. Because when you don't want, I was like a really small operation, but
those are the best ones, by the way.
Absolutely. Having to push the aircraft back yourself,
stock the airplane, cater the airplane,
yep,
clean the airplane,
yep. And for me, that it just seems so much more rewarding when you finally, arrived at your destination, knowing that you had to coordinate all these different types of aspect to ensure a solid client experience, because that's ultimately what it's all about. So when I loaded up your application and I saw that, oh wow, there's a story behind this, not that you always know the background, right? But it's just cool to have a premise or context behind why you're going to where you're going. And oh cool, here's this phone number, so Simmers can actually have the opportunity to participate in those steps and those procedures that pilots at that level take to ensure that awesome client experience from point to point B, because you may or may not have a dispatch, you might be the dispatcher, what I'm saying?
Right.
So
you might be a two-man operation.
Oh yeah. So for me, that was just like, okay, let me go ahead and sub and fire up CTP Aviation, which Charlie is the CEO, and we're completely broke. Charlie, just FYI.
Broke.
Well, we can work it down. Listen, guys, you've seen my website. We do partnerships with people who have communities. Let's get the community thing going.
If we did that, then these guys would never work.
I know.
That's a missed opportunity. You got to be running this. You got to be running the company on the stream.
Charlie, Charlie, man, you gotta. That's a good point though, because Charlie did bring it to us and created our entire company. We've got a few jets. Charlie, like, how did the idea come about for you to say, "Hey, I got to go check this thing out," and then I got to go tell Mike and Johnny, and then by the way, we got to create a CTP company. Like, right. How did that come about to you?
Just out of nowhere.
For me, what turned me on was I do enjoy flying VAs, kind of like what we said, flying with a purpose.
Yep.
And there was just there was one little VA I was in, I think it was called just Biz Jets.
That's right. I remember that.
It just didn't have it. But then when I saw Jet Card and I saw, you got your backstories, it's like, oh, I got to call the FBO and say, hey, bring me some ice, whatever it may be. I just really enjoy that aspect. And, being able to do that with the Biz Jets is what really turned me on to it.
Yeah, I think, I'm very fortunate that I have a lot of friends that work in aviation, right? But I think the boom we've seen in the flight sim market with the release of 2020, right? Like, just put a different level on the map, the Xbox crowd, and then just COVID in general, right? We saw this massive increase in the user base for flight simulation. Those guys don't have access to 6 buddies who fly commercial airliners, and
that's true.
And
exactly.
Or had a my buddy Hayden had a career like Johnny, worked for a small little outfit with a couple airplanes out of Lexington in Kentucky, and like was like, oh my god, like, wow, you just flashed me back to whatever. So I felt it important that as part of this development process to bring that level, not to educate, like not to force feed education down somebody's throat, but to bring a level of like, hey, by the way, like, this is what real people in this industry have to do. The guy from FlexJet has got to call a half hour out and get the car ready and make sure that it's there and that they're going to be able to put the plane in the hangar overnight and give it a clean and get the lab service done. It's a different level. And I think people don't even realize that even at the 121, commercial pilot level, those guys have a lot of stuff they've got to do while they might not be client facing in terms of scheduling with dispatch and calling operations and doing other ACARS messaging. Just to give that immersive feel, I think is huge. And by the way, while we were just chatting, I did pull up your career profile because I can see.
Don't show it, nobody. We broke.
I can't. I'm on my iPad. I'm on my iPad. I can't show. I mean, you want me to flip it? No. Just kidding. But you guys got 5 weeks of runway. That's better than most companies. So you guys are doing. You guys were very.
Oh, that's awesome.
You guys were very modest.
Yeah, we running on thin lines around here.
Charlie said we got
very
thin
modest in how
margins.
much money it's like out. So
Nobody's got a check in weeks.
Yeah, that's it. They don't get no per diem, no nothing.
No
I did
deal.
I had to walk to my hotel when I landed the other day.
That's
I did
it.
notice Charlie's pretty skimpy on the pay, so noted there. Noted there.
They keep making me buy these airplanes, so it's either they
We don't
get
make
paid
you
or
buy nothing.
Charlie be in chat. Hey guys, it's about to say 340.
Yeah, I'm like, what?
Somebody's been putting some work in on this Phenom, though. 21 hours in the time that we've been allotted in a Phenom.
That's between the two of these guys, man.
Oh yeah. I like
Guilty.
it,
Funny.
you know.
That's funny.
I'm trying to get the Falcon back from, I think it was in Paris somewhere over there. So,
Paris?
Can we talk
Yeah.
about that? Yeah, it looks like it's in.
Absolutely.
You got it in Moncton now, right?
Yeah, yep, it's in Moncton now. I
You're
gotta get
almost
it back
back.
to Dallas. We're almost there.
You guys want to talk about the Falcon for a second?
Yes,
Absolutely.
Man, so here's where I think that like one thing I didn't expect with the development of Jet Card, right, was you guys said it, right? You guys kind of saw it came across your wire. Charlie sends it to a couple friends, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, we got to have this thing. We got to try this thing, and that like I've been amazed by. Let me ask you guys a question. How many aircraft add-on do you have in your hangar right now that has some integration with an add-on platform that is not GSX?
Mm.
Well, I love now I get to ask the questions and you all stumped.
Yeah.
You flip the script on us, gents. Quick.
By the way, I'm going to list some great products, right? Like this is not me trying to compare to any other product.
No, absolutely
You
not.
mean
But I'll give you a
like
story.
that has ground handling type integrations that is not GSX, or just generally speaking?
Let me reframe the question. How
Yeah.
many add-ons in your hangar have an integration at any point that is specifically coded to work with another program that is not GSX?
Oh, none.
Meaning,
I
right?
can't
Like,
think of
Yeah,
any.
yeah, I think you-
right?
Yeah.
Like APL, great Pilot's Life, right? Great program, right? But like nothing speaks directly to that.
Correct.
Right.
Or
I've got that too.
you know, like even the trackers, right? Like Volanta and Elevate X and whatever.
Yeah.
Like they don't have any. You know, they just when my Discord ping came through from Contrail and the rest of the development team, it was like, hey man, we saw your stuff. We love what you're doing. We want to use you and partner with you. I was like,
Wow.
and I'm like, okay, well, what's, this is not my full-time job, guys. Right. So, all right, well,
Yeah.
what's that look like? What are you thinking? They're like, and I won't say his name. There's sort of a secret partnership behind the Contrail 50 and some of the development stuff. But he's like, hey, we've been friends through Expo for years. Like I've seen your product. I've seen the J phone. I've seen all the ground handling. I've seen all that other stuff. How do we work together? And I was like, wow, that's, by the way, this is while I was thinking like maybe by Christmas, 500 people think Jet Card is cool and they try it out.
Yeah.
I'm like watching my servers just like crash, and then I'm like upgrading them, crash, and then upgrading. Like, we'll just new big, just go big and just headroom,
Don't worry
headroom,
about
headroom.
it. Exactly.
And we'll worry about the rest of it later. And I was like, well, I don't know. I haven't thought about that. Like, I never thought about integrations of actually making this work within the aircraft. And, my route was always going to be like, well, maybe I'll go GSX. I'll figure that out. I started doing it. It wasn't working. And so like Contrail, came to me and said, hey, we want to be able to use your stuff in the program. So like to have these integrations where you click on the fuel service in the phone and you call the FBO, and to have it actually fuel the plane in the sim. Wow. Holy
Game changing.
Earlier on.
Game changing.
Yep.
Yeah, there's not another application on the market that like has those streamlined, like developers are spending code time to make it work with their airplane. And we're not done with the Falcon 50, just so you know. And I think that's like an awesome, like, right. What is something I'll spend time on is that immersion piece, right? Like it's one thing to have to call the FBO and say, hey, can you send the fuel truck? We need to top off. It is another thing to call the FBO. The FBO responds, and then in the sim, the fuel truck.
You see the fuel truck pull up.
Game changing.
Game changing.
So cool. I'm so grateful for Contrail for being the first person to think of that. And I can't take credit for the idea. It was their idea. Like they reached out to me, and since then, ironically, a lot of other developers have reached out to me to be like, hey, how do we do similar type things? The challenge being is they all want to do it like a little bit of a different way.
A little different way.
Which is why that integration with some other things you've seen come out, like the Phenom and the Sovereign and stuff, has taken some time. But I'm in contact with all of them in terms of trying to make sure that we can get some of these jet card things firing in the sim for people. Just give it that extra level.
That's awesome. Okay, because that's just just to kind of, I guess, continue with the Falcon as well. And I've noticed that developer is very forward thinking. I love the way he's been moving so far. I mean, just he's doing things that no one's really done in the sim, such as like the whole pushback functionality that you see. That's
so cool.
Oh my
I had to keep that a secret for like 2 months. It was brutal.
And so I'm definitely looking forward to it. And as you've mentioned, it's cool to see that other developers are seeing that and they're like, hey, let's see if we can make something work, especially with these business aircraft. Because I mean, to me, I think that integration just completely ties the experience in.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And their whole pitch, right? Like you said, Johnny, right? Like you had to go and clean the plane, you had to prep the plane, you had to cater the plane, you had to fuel the plane. You know what I mean? So like they already are coding, they're already coding and creating these moments because they know that that's how it kind of works in BizAv, right? In which you can fuel the Sovereign on your own by going and opening the fuel panel, connecting the pump, turning it on, and tracking the gallons. You know what I mean? And so like that's already there. They just need to kind of tie the timing of that to something that we trigger from our side on the application. And it's been such an easy integration for both me and I think some of these aircraft developers. But I love the way I love this. I want to be kind of make sure I'm humble about how I say this. I did not expect the love for Jet Card that we got, and then to take it to like another level. Like I feel so like I don't even know how to say it. Like it's just like an amazing thing that these guys are like, hey, you solve a problem that like when we started development we didn't know how to solve, right? Like okay, why would somebody buy the Falcon 50 if they were like, I don't know, but now they can do it, and they can, and then now they have a reason to fly it, and it works with the application, and you can buy it on the same store. You know what I mean? And so like it's the feedback from the community has been great. The feedback from the developers, it was not something I ever imagined or ever envisioned because we need each other, right? We
absolutely.
It is a rare situation. I think that we never see this in our industry where it's truly mutually beneficial, right? Like somebody developing the same A320 for the 15th time, like
or 380.
Or now we have 380s, right?
All right.
Shout out Philippe. I love Philippe, by the way. Anybody who gives their product away for free, like you're gonna get 20 points in my book. But you know what I mean? Like we need each other. Like I need the planes because if there's no planes, people aren't gonna want to use my application. Not that I'm trying to change careers off this app or anything like that. Like if it never sold another copy, we've got great runway. As long as people are enjoying the product, I'm happy. As long as people are happy with the product, I'm happy. This is not my full-time job. But having them and them having me and making these integrations and having our programs and our planes kind of work together, I could have never envisioned that when I sat down to start making this program. And I love that thing that it's made for this community. It's why, I think I teased before the show, like I would have come and seen you on Saturday, but Flight Effects and I had a 2-hour conversation about, hey, how do we partner together? There's got to be a way. And I love that. I love what that's done for kind of this community.
Speaking of integrations, man, so you built this platform that's essentially its own like ecosystem, its own economy, charter marketplace, aircraft ownership, company management with bosses like Charlie who doesn't want to pay us. Like what was
30% above the norm, buddy.
Respect. What was the hardest part, like from an integration standpoint, development, coding, whatever you want to classify it as? What was the hardest part to actually get right? I know you've had a team of people to reach out to, of resources to sort of rely on to help you craft that, but what was the hardest part of it all?
Where do I stop? No, like
Scope creep.
Yes and no.
Okay.
Again, I think like if I could frame my perspective when I sat down and started making this program, like if it was just me and 15 of my buddies and we just were just generating trips off the trip generator and making these cool backstories, and that's all it ever was, I'd be just as happy to sit here and talk about it today as I am now. I think as developers, um, it is hard to figure out that line between, all right, I'm asking you to pay for a product, and what is fair and reasonable value for that product. Now, the funny thing was, like the first version 1 release of Jet Card and the version that you're going to get in a couple weeks here with the operators update is indistinguishable from each other, which is funny to me because the first version that like my alpha team had, or like Blue Games, was like, I got him involved early to kind of get his feedback. Like he and I talked at Expo, and he was like, man, like I log into Jet Card now and it looks nothing like that first build you gave me. And I think that's great, and it's not a very long, it's not been a very long time frame for that kind of development. So listen, I think the biggest challenge for me was like, especially where I'm not a developer, I'm not a web developer, an app developer, I'm not in web or software development in my real life. And so, I had help, I had resources, I had people helping me, I had people steering me, and then I also had AI to help. Like I've never steered away that some of these things would not be possible without AI coded assistance stuff. Responsibly, I would add to that, right? Is like, you can't just take whatever, So it's a combination of all these resources and all these people helping me that got me to where we are today. And so like there was always this concern of mine, like, okay, I'm asking somebody to give me $20 for it. Have I given them the value for it?
Yeah.
And I think that was really the hardest part. And then now, ironically, I look and I go, God, I should have charged everybody double. And that's not to be greedy or try to make money off the application, because it's never been my intent. It's always been a project of love for me. But we've added a lot of great stuff that has also added a lot of costs.
It brings a lot of value for sure.
I was gonna say, I mean,
and I love that piece of it, because I didn't charge you a subscription. I could have. Most applications built on this stack would be subscription. And so it was kind of hard to figure out like what's the line of value that I've given you for $20. And I, we've definitely gone past that comfortably in my mind, that I sleep easy at night saying that I think I've given you a product that's good. And so, I think the biggest challenge, Mike, just to kind of put a bow on it, is just like the second this gets into somebody's hands, and granted, remember, I didn't think I would have so many hands in the pot all of a sudden. It is amazing how this community comes from everywhere with ideas and thoughts and expectations, and more, and you're trying to kind of wade through, okay, what is a good suggestion versus what is like a nice to have, versus like this person just wants it to work this way for them, but is that for the benefit of everybody who uses the application? So that beta test period to the first 2 weeks of release, like I didn't sleep. I was thinking about things in my head. I was thinking about features. I'm like stressed out. I'm like, oh my God, I thought I'd have this many people in 5 years, maybe, and I have this many people in a week. And now I'm like, I was like waking up, like, is it broken? Are the servers all right? I'm like, did we run out of headroom? Like, do we have enough process? Do we have enough compute power? And, so like that 6 week period, I would say 7-week period where we did like a really deep beta, and then sort of the 2-week release period, that was really, really hard, because it's not something I had been through before, because my normal day job is not in software development.
Gotcha. Man, I think you hit on a lot of similarities that we've had conversations with on, the developers that have been on this show, is really trying to balance the inception of the project and what you were trying to accomplish with it, product, whatever, And how do you then take that, evolve it, tweak it, not to satisfy an individual or a person or just a small group, but rather what's best for the greater good? And, you know, to your point, you know, our day jobs are very similar in that I've got to cater to almost the same thing, right? You know, I'm in product management where we've got, you know, vendors and customers, and everybody has a say so or wants a say so, and how certain things should look and evolve and feel. And it's really like trying to weigh through all of the noise and figure out
100%.
ultimately like what is best for the product, and always going back to the principle and grounding yourself in, you know, foundationally what you were creating and what you were trying to accomplish to begin with. So I definitely see where you're coming from in that regard. And it's funny like how similar this industry is to many of the other industries and whatnot that I have the pleasure, quote unquote, of working in.
You know, it's something that I realized or was aware of. Like, it was sort of just all around me, but I never really understood it until I was on the other side of the table. You know, it is interesting to me that the flight sim community, like, something gets released and it gets released at $30. The developer has assessed like what they've put together as sort of a fixed price, and they've sort of given it to you. And I think what I wasn't ready for is, in the flight sim community, there's this expectation that when something releases to you at $30, that there's also like a roadmap of a bunch of different things that are coming afterwards for the $30 that you paid for. And I my entire like flight sim career, I've like paid for $80 airplanes, and I've paid for $30 airplanes, and some airplanes were worth the $80, and some airplanes were not worth the $80. And some $30 airplanes were worth $80, and some $80 airplanes were worth, you know. And you know, it's amazing to me. I think I was not prepared for that, like, more mentality. Like, what's your roadmap? Like, I did have a roadmap of things I wanted to add to the program, but then, you know, 250 other ideas kind of were born out of that. And I'm grateful for it. Like, 25 or 30 of those we've implemented that were great ideas for the program that I think is great. You know, but it is interesting to me. I think you touched on it, Mike, is like this idea of like, well, how far, like, you're going to develop this for like the next 2 years, right? And kind of improve it and give us more stuff and get, and it's like, maybe, you know, if it's a good idea, maybe, but like, no, wasn't the plan. You know, and so that's a hard balance to strike. You know, as somebody who's just gotten into this, I hate that I hate calling myself a developer, but here we are. You know, somebody's gotten into developing for flight sim add-ons. You know, that was a challenge I wasn't ready for.
Oh, absolutely. No, I think it's interesting too, especially, you know, being now that you've, you know, had the pleasure of being on both sides of the coin, right? And, you know, seeing what happens behind the scenes, and, you know, that when, you know, as we, you know, now when we're younger, of course, you know, it's hard to really quantify the value of time. And I think the older I've gotten, the more value I put on my time. And I think as simmers, sometimes we tend to forget that. And, you know, hey, you know, I picked up this item for, you know, $20, for example. And mind you, you know, it took however long it took to develop said product or widget or whatever for $20. And that time was allotted for and the price. Well, fast forward, you know, hey, where's your roadmap? Where's this? Where's that? Well, you know, in order to implement said roadmap, you know, requires a certain amount of dev hours, which those hours equate to time, which, you know, money. And where does that come from? You know, so I found myself, you know, as, you know, being in the industry for, you know, heck, or over 20 years now, I was that kid, hey, I saved up my allowance. I went and picked up this aircraft. When we get the next update, when we get the next update, and being surprised, like, wait a minute, y'all are charging an extra whatever, and there's some developers. I'm not going to bring up no names, but if y'all go back and show, I brought their names up in the past, where, it's like, wow, we're talking like 3 digits, and I'm like a 6-year-old kid, and we ain't got those kind of ends. So, but it's being fun. Of age now, you totally understand that, hey, time, literally, as the old adage goes, time is money. And I mean, you just have to play, you have to pay to play in this hobby of ours, because, we have to be mindful of the developers' time, and, they have to, feed their families, et cetera, et cetera. So
I think conversely too, like on the flip side, we have never had such detailed, high fidelity, such feature rich add-ons as we do now. Absolutely. I mean, the Phenom for $30, and it's got a whole passenger
for what you get
system, or whatever. That would have.
Granted, they're picky, but this got it.
Yeah, well, guys, do you remember 10 years ago? Like that would have cost you $90.
Oh, yeah,
easily,
100%.
Things have never been cheaper, and they've never had more features in them.
Yeah,
and I think we've also. I think I kind of did the same thing. I think we've all kind of committed to the volume model of like.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool to see. It's really cool to see like where your price point is, where somebody decides like, I'll take a chance on that,
for sure,
and maybe not like it, versus like, you know what, I guarantee you could probably. You could probably cut my user base in half if it was $40. You know what I mean? Because
for sure,
those people saw it for $20 and said, you know what, I'm going to take a chance on this for $20.
Oh, yeah.
Even if it's not their thing, right? And so, it's a great time to be in flight simming.
Oh man, yeah, and I have to say it. As much as I give my friends Microsoft grief, shout out to Microsoft because to me, I think with the infusion of the console user base. That just busted the market wide open for developers to, allow those price points to be meaningful, as it relates to their, to their overall pricing strategy. I was in a Discord conversation with a developer over on the X-Plane side. And I mean, I don't think I could have said it any better, but essentially, you're dealing with a smaller user base with our friends over there at X-Plane, over on the X-Plane side. And those prices kind of reflect that for some of those high fidelity add-ons. So you're kind of in a conundrum as a developer. You either, put in less dev time for a lower fidelity product, or put in more dev time for a higher fidelity product, but have that higher price point along with it. And it's kind of
that line.
Exactly. It's just really tough to get all that aligned for sure.
Yeah.
No, you guys, you spotted it. Gosh, man, I remember it. I'm not picking on them, but it was just the time. FS Labs, that A320 product, when it first came out for FSX, and I think P3D was $120 for one aircraft. Like, we've really come a very long way. And unfortunately, a lot of people that are in the industry now weren't in the industry then, and they don't realize, they don't have that background and that context. That's why it's a lot of like, oh man, really, all this money. We also have a lot of freeware developers that are creating really great aircrafts, like the fly-by-wire folks. So then, they do that and compare it to, well, I'm getting this for like, almost like for like version of this aircraft for free. Why can't you do it for free? And there just isn't a realization that, not everyone has free time to dedicate to a product without being compensated for such. And it's kind of just where we are. And again, I don't think it's just the flight sim industry. I think it's just the realities of the world we live in today, with inflation where it is worldwide, quite frankly, and, consumer sentiment and share of wallet continuing to shrink. That's just where we are. But yeah. Not to I know we just got off of this subject and said, hey, what is the roadmap, right? But I think more particularly for you, Sean, like, what concept of Jet Card today do you see evolving, over like the next year or so? Not particularly like, what is the blanket roadmap? Just generally speaking, yeah.
Yeah, so we have a big update coming in a couple weeks. It's done. It's got some complexities in terms of like database updates and rights and stuff that I want to make sure it's polished. I could have probably released it before 4th of July, but I'm not going to be here. So like if things break and I'm not there
Yep.
to fix it, that's really bad.
Don't do it to yourself.
No,
Yeah.
you know what? Like, let's take another week. Let me put it through its paces again, and we'll drop it. So
Take it from
that
someone
is
in software development and in IT. Never release before holiday unless that's what you
no.
want to spend your holiday doing.
Fun fact: I was gonna wait for Expo to release, but then I was like, well, I'm gonna be gone for the week, so like
Yeah.
that's not a good idea, you know. So I actually kind of dropped some features that I wanted in the sort of base build that we don't need this for it to work. So I kind of dropped those and just kind of moved up my schedule a month, and I'm glad I did because it really helped me flush out like a lot of like those edge cases I couldn't get in beta. You know, when you have 100 people flying across 30 companies versus 3,000 people flying across 500 companies, like things I couldn't have ever imagined popped up. So to kind of fix those was good. So the operator's update is really, I mean, honestly, like it's not my update. It's sort of the community's update. You know, people wanted more brand awareness. They want to be able to get their brand out in front of potential pilots on the platform to come fly for their operators. So like the logos are kind of more in your face. There's an opportunity for you to kind of post like liveries and galleries, and sort of like the more you have, it's more forward facing to a perspective. It's I built Indeed within the application. You know what I mean? People can.
Absolutely.
Wow.
What I mean by that is like, you know what I mean?
Like the concept.
equivalent.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Instead of just like, oh, there's 500 companies, like which one do I want to fly for? Like now people can search for companies that have certain airlines.
That's right.
I'm sorry,
Yep.
or certain aircraft, right? Or man, I love that logo and I love their operating bases and they fly from my home airport. And I want to work for that company.
Right.
That stuff was not kind of like easily found before. And so that's included in this update, sort of this whole like brand forward thing for operators to be able to show off custom liveries, to show off their logo, where they work, how they operate. I think the coolest feature in that is now people can do specialty operators. So we have a couple companies that want to do just medical flights only.
Oh,
so
wow.
now they can
That's
kind of
cool.
really cool. So now you can just kind of restrict the jobs you take off the job board or the jobs that you generate trips for medical only, and so you're hopping around from and I added something like 800 hospitals worldwide to the database. So like you'll see trips to like Boston Medical Center, and you'll see trips to like Children's Hospital Raleigh and things like that.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
it's more ownership over how the operator runs and how they project to, when I say Indeed, right? Like how it projects outward to prospective pilots. That's coming in the next couple weeks. When that's done, I'll go back to developing JetCard Live, which is going to be, imagine a BATC or say intentions, but within the application itself. Yep. So instead of calling the FBO and you're clicking through voice prompts and you're just getting a recorded line back, you'll pick up and there'll be an AI agent that you can actually have a conversation with. It'll be content aware and whatever.
Wow.
So and including random phone calls as well. Like when Charlie is scrolling through the charter board, can't figure out where the heck he wants to go from Moncton,
And not paying us.
And not paying you and not making payroll.
Keep it up, you're gonna get fired.
Hold on, in the new update, you'll have to give a reason, so that's good.
Good.
For the win.
You know what's funny? Actually, I added the email app will work, and you'll actually get an email from HR that says you've been terminated.
No way.
Oh my gosh, that's cool. That's cool.
My corporate life is coming in very quickly. So JetCard Live, so like you'll be able to have voice conversations using your headset, your microphone, whatever.
That's cool.
You'll call the dispatcher, call your first officer and ask them to do certain things. You'll get responses from from a person on the other side to kind of just give it, again, it's that immersion. It's kind of like, what's that level of depth? I don't foresee that being a super popular feature. I am in contact with the big two sort of like AI ATC people where like it might be like a light version from me that you can do that. And then like if you're already a customer of say Intentions or Beyond ATC or whatever, maybe you throw in your API key and you can use your subscription there so you don't have to add it on. That will be the only part of the program that is subscription just because those AI costs, I can't
they
cover those.
cost
Yeah,
for
for
sure.
sure.
yeah.
Which I think is incredibly fair, right? Like $20, here's the app. You got a
Absolutely.
ton of stuff there for $20. And then if you want that next level, now you're
Yep.
making the decision. So that's sort of coming. Those are really, just honestly, I think those are the last two kind of big planned features for Jet Card at that $20 level. Some people have asked me to do more of like a hardcore world type of mode where fuel pricing is more live, FBO feeds are more live. There's a deeper maintenance option in terms of like downtime with aircraft and stuff like that. That interests me. It does. It was never the intent for the program. I think
Yeah.
that would maybe be some kind of like V2 thing later on.
For sure.
But I'll give you a teaser because you guys were nice enough to invite me on the show. How's that?
Love it.
After those two kind of big features, that does not mean Jet Car development is dead. I'll continue to do kind of the small things or some enhancements or whatever. I have at least two other applications planned that work on sort of the same backbone of Jet Card. And look at you, all three of you were like,
wow, really? Huh.
yeah. And my
That is
hope,
cool.
not my hope, my intent for those is they would all have an interconnected shared piece to it. So I'm not going to go into the details. I'm not going to blow up my own announcement, but imagine you log into a splash screen and you can pick which of the three worlds you want to play with that day with the same account that you have for Jet Card. All your financials and all that are shared across all three platforms. And you no longer have to decide, like Charlie no longer has to decide like, I have to fly Jet Card today or I'm not going to be able to make my lease payments.
Yeah, that's a real problem.
Legit.
We got to move that Falcon tonight, as a matter of fact.
I'm going to be flying during the World Cup game, Charlie, so maybe I'll join you. We'll do a group flight.
Nice.
It's funny, actually. Like, I didn't expect so many people to jump into aircraft ownership or trying to own air, because, like, it's like, hey, this is expensive. Like, you got to fly, you're going to pay this off.
Oh, yeah.
Every single person, the first thing they do, boom,
Is
boom,
buy
boom,
points.
boom,
That's
boom,
the
boom,
most
boom.
intriguing part to me is that right there.
And that's great. It's great.
Copy
But,
for you.
Like I ain't never going to own a jet, but like you kind of do get a snapshot of like, golly, you
Yeah,
got to send
me
this
too.
4-hour trip to make payroll for a couple of weeks. You know, like
I'll just
banker's been
tease.
blowing me up.
It's
My
crazy.
text
Like
messages are crazy.
when you see the red when you're doing ferry flights because like you had no customers and you just not
I won't
wasted,
do
but,
one.
Like, I had to.
We
I had to
get
move.
paid.
I had to move our what was it, the Sovereign from Denver to freaking Teterboro.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
we were in the hole for that one for a couple thousand, man. It was not cool.
No.
But like that's
So
a
I have a
real
solution for
scenario.
you. I have a solution for you in which it will not remove your need to fly within the Jet Card ecosystem, but it will not necessarily have to always be private jet flying in order to make money within our ecosystem. So my plan is to kind of get those two features done. And then I have a couple other applications that I want to do sort of next. They run on the same stack. And a lot of the things, to be honest with you, a lot of the things kind of copy over from Jet Card, the way the flight tracker works and some of those other things, some of those economy things, work the same way as they do in Jet Card. So it is like a logic recode to make some of those applications work more than a actual refactoring of actual code. The intent there is that, like I said, you log into a splash screen and which of the three worlds do you want to play in today? Is it private jets? Maybe it's cargo. Maybe it's passenger. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see kind of how the roadmap kind of flushes out. But the idea being
that's
one
exciting.
account, the idea being kind of one account, kind of shared across a bunch of different applications that you could use, and all your money and all that stuff is interconnected between the three.
Man, that's gonna be awesome.
Man, that's fire.
It's just taking it to another level. And again, like as we started the show, and as you mentioned, really born out of there's this thing that I want to solve for me and my friends. And lo and behold, it's a thing that a series of things actually, that everyone or a lot of people actually wish that we had. And I love that the community continues to grow in this way, and that we have the resources and the capabilities and, the crazy launches of biz jets within this time period to help facilitate that as well.
It's a lot more coming.
And more coming.
I know of at least 2 unannounced.
Really?
Yep. I know of at least 2 unannounced. And then I had heard, but had not been contacted. Well, turns out I kind of did know, but I didn't really know. But I was sort of led on to the AnyBuilds Global. Okay. It was sort of teased.
Before
I don't have comfort. Yeah. So like I had heard inklings. Let me put it to you this way. I'd had a conversation with somebody who said, I work for a developer and we're developing a business jet, and we, I don't know, we're not there yet, but I think that we're going to want JetCard to work with it. And then, and then I was hearing inklings elsewhere that AnyBuilds potentially was working on a large cabin jet. And I was like, it could maybe be the same thing. And then they teased the Global. And now I have not had follow-on conversations, so I don't want to get anybody in trouble. I've not had any follow-on conversations about making JetCard work with anything.
Right.
As the deductive reasoning of the conversation I had with, with the rumors that Any was making a Global, and then Any teases an FBO with a Global 6000 tail number in it.
Yeah. Yep.
When they smoke this fire, boys.
Exactly. They still technically haven't confirmed it, right?
Technically, no.
Technically, no. Interesting. And then you said there's 2 more that we haven't even seen teased.
Yep.
Wow. Gents.
Yep. I'm under an NDA for those, so I can't talk about those.
Ooh, this is exciting.
There are 2 more coming, and I will not give you any clues, but there are 2 more coming. Right. 2 different developers, but there are 2 more coming that have not even been remotely teased yet. So
I love it. We make fun that Microsoft Flight Sim is becoming Microsoft Flight Sim Airbus Sim. It's soon become Microsoft Flight Sim BizJet Sim, man.
I'm here for it, gents. I'm here for it.
Well, what's amazing?
BizJet.
There's nothing left, right?
I mean, not really. We were just talking about that as a group the other day. There isn't a ton left.
You know what? And here's the other thing. Like, I am talking with scenery developers too, because we don't need another Seattle. We don't need another LaGuardia. We don't need another. I mean, we do need another Houston Intercontinental. But
that's true.
Yes.
We do. Like AnyBuilds is doing Chicago. We don't need any more of these major. Yeah, we don't need any of these major international hubs next. So where do these developers?
We need regionals.
They gotta hit the regionals hard.
And we need Peachtree to Cobb, and we need Bedford, and we need Centennial, and we need Van Nuys, and I have no agreements with anybody on the scenery side. I've been reaching out and trying to like kind of see, like, test the waters there, but like
for sure,
let this audience know that I am out there talking to scenery developers, being like, what do I need to do to get you?
We need a Paducah, Kentucky.
Wow. We need Paducah, Kentucky.
We, Sean, we support it 100%.
JetCard and Closed Traffic podcast sponsored Paducah, Kentucky, coming late 2027.
Here for you.
I love it. I'll
chip in, boys.
I love it. Hey, man, before I close us out, I got some rapid. Sorry, go ahead, Johnny.
No, I was going to say, that also includes the clapped out Crown Victoria pilot car.
That's right.
I have a Crown Vic, man.
The Crown Vic, man, black on black.
Yep,
before we wrap up, because I know we're right up against the time, can I ask you guys one more question? I promise this one won't.
Yes, and then I got some rapid fire ones for you, but you go first.
Okay, all right. Have you guys used the live events charters yet?
Yes, I think I have it.
Personally.
I think there were some World Cup trips I did.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay, that's right.
Yeah.
I would be remiss if I didn't bring it up on the show. My absolute favorite feature, hands down, not even close, is that live events thing.
Yeah.
Again, another thing that I just don't think we've seen in the sim. If I can toot my own horn, like, man, I love the idea of like you log in and like the charter board shifts, not with just procedurally generated from a generator jobs, but like, wow, like the World Cup attendance stuff and the NASCAR attendance stuff, concerts, and I love that. I love logging on Saturday.
I flew a group of executives to the Knicks and Spurs finals in San Antonio. That's right.
Oh my God, Mike, I love that.
I did do one. Forgot about that.
I love that feature. Man. Like that just came out so good.
Yeah,
I think it's also location based as well, because I did one because I'm out of Texas, so so it's like, you know, I'm flying oil execs to somewhere in North Dakota or something to look at, you know, a site or whatnot, you know, and that's when, if you go to FlightAware and you look at the amount of air traffic, especially going between like Midland, Texas to God knows wherever.
Oh, I know Midland.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, me and you both. And so, you know, more often than not, you know, it's probably going to be, you know, oil and gas traffic. So I mean, it was just so cool to see, you know, to see some of the stories, but you know, behind some of those trips.
Yeah, I'm a big Formula One fan. I love grabbing one of these Formula One team travels and flying to Monaco, drop the team off, flying back on Monday.
Oh yeah,
I love that feature.
That's awesome.
So I'm glad. It sounds like Mike's gotten into it. Charlie, I don't have any live event charters for you out of Moncton. I'm sorry, man.
Hey, they don't nobody want to go up there. It's just the shortest distance where I can.
You would have to go back, which is the problem. They are round trips, so you have to go back.
Holly said, "I just hit it because I need the fuel."
I just tried to get that girl over the water.
And started in the right engine sequence. That is
exactly.
Oh right, Mike, give me the rapid fire questions.
Yes, sir. I'll start with BizJet's favorite BizJet.
That we currently have?
Generally speaking, and you could answer for the currently one have as well. Yeah.
If the Any Builds Global is real, that'll retire a lot of things for me. You know, I like the large cabin stuff. I like, you know, a lot of, to be honest with you, like, you know, I wasn't getting to fly for a long time while we were kind of finishing development because I was developing. And, you know, like what's been fun now is like, I know it's not the best airplane, but like, I'll just load up that freeware Gulfstream because I'm not actually looking at it. Like it's A to B and I'll fly, you know, 11 hours while I'm coding. And, you know, so I think the large cab, like when the Any Builds, if that is a thing, the Any Builds Global 6000, if it's real, that comes out, I think that'll be my daily flyer. I'm loving the Sovereign right now. I think they did a great job on that. I wish it was faster. Like when you could fly Mach 0.9 in the Gulfstream or the Citation 10, and you got to do 7.8 in the Sovereign. Like that's But man, the flight model and all that, they did a phenomenal job on that.
Sure.
I love the Falcon.
The sounds of that thing are like spot on. I've been in a Latitude, and it's like it brought back memories.
They did a great job. I owe them some work actually to kind of get some of our jet card integrations working with them coming up soon. So you know, teaser number 2 for you guys. But I love that Sovereign. I wish it could do faster than 0.78, but like when you use it for like those, you know, 2.5 hour hops, what a great airplane that is.
Oh yeah.
I'm not really an old gauge kind of guy. I mean, I love the Falcon for its
guilty.
You know, yeah, I mean, listen, they did a great job on it. I know that they've been sussing out some kind of kinks on it, but you know, I love that for the integrations. If I had to pick one, Mike, gun to my head, give me the Sovereign.
Bingo. I like it. Most underrated airport for charter flying.
Ooh. In the sim?
Yep.
Man. So near, and maybe this is just personal. I love Bedford. I pray and I'm working, and the first airport, if I can get somebody to sign up and do it, is Bedford. I think the way it's tucked under the airspace for Logan, I love Bedford. It's near and dear to my heart, but without scenery,
man,
it's tough.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna give Johnny some love here. I'm gonna say Dallas Love. I don't think people realize how crazy busy Dallas Love is.
It's busy.
I didn't realize that.
IRL.
I always just see it as a Southwest hub, and that's it.
Dude, they've got 3 signatures.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, there's 3 signatures. What else, Johnny? Is it Atlantic? Not
I think
Atlantic.
there's a Millionaire there.
Yeah, it's Atlantic, and then there's a I forget it, but there's a pull through. They have a pull through. I forget the name of them, but yeah, they have like
Texas
a pull
Aviation or something.
I think
like
it's
that.
It's
It might be
let
the
me
Dallas
check.
Jet Center.
Yeah,
That's
it's
what I'm
like
thinking
that.
of. Something
Yeah.
Jet Center. Yeah.
So I think inject
Under
card
landing features.
underutilized, Mike. I would say Dallas Love. I think
On base
the
of
one that's
CTP Aviation.
oh, yeah, there you go. What's your call sign? I
Gotcha.
just saw Homeland or Homegrown or something like that.
Crosswind.
Crosswind. I'm sorry, Crosswind.
We always crossed up at CTP.
Yeah. The one that's getting the most traffic out of me, Mike, is Teterboro. I mean, Dreamflight did a great job in that V2.
Yeah, they did
Teterboro.
amazing job
Oh
with that
man,
one.
thanks.
Freaking amazing.
Beautiful.
I love Teterboro. I've been telling these guys about it for years. All right. One Microsoft Flight Sim add-on you can't fly without. Can't pick jet card.
Oh, I was gonna say that's tough. I mean, to be honest, here's the hard thing, right? Like, I've done nothing but jet card for the last 6 months.
Right.
Before jet card, I would say a Pilot's Life V2.
Gotcha.
I that was, I mean, for all of COVID, like that was all my flying. Not that I've been doing a lot of commercial flying. Like I'm actually sitting in my sim chair. I've got a WinWing MiG-2. Hold on, unplug. I got a WinWing MiG-2 sitting here.
Yes.
I've got the glare shield in front of me. Like I was until I started developing jet card. So I'll plug that back in later. So I'm not showing my next few users. I was before jet card only exclusively an APL V2 user. I was on the APL V1 beta team. So, I don't, other than private jet flying, for which was just random A to random B when I didn't want to do commercial, I was just hounding away hours on a Pilot's Life V2. That's part of the reason why I think I'm excited for some of the stuff that I teased earlier.
Gotcha. I hear you, man. And one last one for you. If you were to snap your fingers right now and it'll be available in the morning, what aircraft would you add to Microsoft Flight Sim or even X-Plane tomorrow?
I don't care which one. I want a Gulfstream. I want a Payware Gulfstream in the sim.
We've been saying that
So
for the longest. Yes.
So bad.
650 would be fine. 550 would be fine. That honestly, I think I love what what Gulfstream Real World has done with the new Gulf 5. To be honest with you, I like with the Global 7500 coming from CJ Sim, the Global 6000 now coming from Any Builds, we're good. Honestly, like a utility Gulfstream, like a 450. Could you imagine a G450 in the sim? Just 35 mile range with a 4,000 foot runway, performance.
Yeah.
I don't know those numbers exactly, but you know what I mean. Big range, small airport, Gulfstream. Oh man, we need that.
That's nuts.
I don't think we'll ever get it, unfortunately.
Gulfstream. Yeah, it's tough. I don't know. Microsoft needs to whisper sweet nothings in their ear or something to get them to.
I've heard they tried.
I've heard many have tried over the years.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is.
I forget who I was talking to, and I don't want to be quoted saying this. I'm fairly certain they worked for Microsoft, that they have reached out and they've said, we will license it. We'll pay to license it. Royalties, like, what do you want? We want to do an expert series Gulfstream in the sim.
Right.
And Gulfstream told them to pound send.
Wow. Golly, they were not playing, and it's been like that for like 20 years. I remember back like FS90.
Why do you think
they won't do it?
They don't, just because they don't need the money.
A G650 will cost you $90 million, right? So, like, what is the royalties from Microsoft Flight Simulator giving them that they're not getting
pennies
when Kanye buys a new G650, right?
Exactly.
Taylor Swift's going to have to upgrade at some point. She's going to want like a 650 or 550, and it's going to cost $75 million fresh out of the factory. They don't, it's unfortunate because I think they could create bigger fans by just embracing this community.
Yeah,
this space.
Slick aircraft though.
But listen, their entire brand is built on you have to pay a premium for that exclusivity and that lifestyle, and we're not going to give it to you for a $40 add-on in Microsoft Flight Sim.
Nope.
Gotta make sense when you put it in that perspective.
I am excited for the Praetor. That's
Yeah, that Praetor's gonna be legit for sure.
Definitely. Wait, who's making a Praetor?
It's going to be a
Series.
Microsoft Expert Series. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
This fall, maybe. I think I've heard what they've been teasing. Yeah, and that'll be game changing for the sim.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that thing's got
Without
some
doubt.
sick avionics in it.
It does.
And that opens up, by the way, the reason Microsoft is doing that is that opens up a whole other range of aircraft that once Working Title does that, people will be able to pull that into other things. You know,
the avionics suite. Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice, man. Well, Sean, that's all I say prepared questions, but we really didn't hit like prepared questions. I think it was a great conversational type of event here at CTP that we always strive to do. But I think the audience here got a good sense of what Jet Card is, how it's the foundation for which it started, and how it's going to continue to grow and evolve. And obviously, you heard we're big fans of the platform and of the product, and we continue to use it no matter how cheap Charlie is. And it's
man.
Guys, JTC is always hiring. Literally, it's.
I might have to like go explore other opportunities.
I know exactly.
I always have Jet Card open. I have 121 planes and 49 pilots. Whatever you want to fly, we've probably got it.
I like it, man.
Yeah, I'm putting in my 2 weeks notice, Charlie. Sorry.
You know what's funny is I thought more people would want to fly for like the application airline as a chance to like just get their feet wet.
Right.
I log in expecting to have like 40 applications to sift through, and there's not one. So I think that's great. Actually, what I think I honestly think that's awesome, because that means that the other players who are here all the time trying to grow their operators, they're getting those pilots, and I love that for the platform. So
good point. Really good point. Johnny, Charlie, anything I missed? Anything you wanted to hit on?
Not that I could think of.
Man, not a whole lot. I mean, besides, wash your hands after you use the bathroom. That's about it.
Can we talk about how now it's dark in my apartment like it is in Charlie's house? Like, people are going to start this at 0-0, and I'm going to be like in sunlight. It's going to be nice and bright, and Charlie's in the darkness. And then just over the course of the entire show, I've just become Charlie.
Like Charlie's bedtime.
And the camera's actually making it brighter than it really is. It's getting dark.
A little less beard than Charlie, but that's all right.
Yeah. It's old man grace, what we call this.
Oh, man, this guy. Oh, man, you're funny. Well,
you'll
folks,
get there one day, Mike.
Guys,
I'm looking forward to it.
I just want to thank you for having me on the show, and I appreciate that you guys were early adopters in the program. It really does mean a lot to me. Like anytime I talk to somebody like, oh man, I'm using Jet Card, I'm loving it. Like, this is great. Like, thank you. And I'm like, you're welcome, but like from me to you, as customers, right? I didn't give this to you guys for free or anything like that. Like, you guys bought this on your own. And so I'm very grateful for that. And I'm glad to hear it seems like you guys are enjoying the program. So thank you for supporting it.
It's phenomenal, man. Thanks for making something.
Thank you for making something.
We knew we needed, but didn't know we needed, and glad we had.
Yep.
Yeah.
All at the same time.
I didn't know how
without it now.
Everybody needed it, And I'm serious about that community thing. Like, you guys have a following, so if your people want to, if we want to convert you guys to like a partner, media partner status thing, and
cool,
get you some airplanes. I have God mode on my side, so we can figure that.
Log in, be like, man, where'd this global come from?
You know what? Listen, I am eternally grateful for Blue Games and V1 Simulations. Like, those guys really have driven a lot of the growth of this program, and I'm very grateful. But I would love to see like a third player taking on this like media partner battle thing on Jet Card. Like I'm happy to, I helped them get the airplanes and the cash they needed to grow a community. So I'm extending you the same offer here.
Awesome.
You can play it back. You can play it back to me now. So if I don't do it later, you have me on tape.
We got you on tape, man.
Hurry, make sure this is recording.
The 1 hour and 18-minute mark. Go back.
Note the time.
Timestamp.
So funny.
Great.
So cool, man. Those of you here in the States, enjoy. Very happy 4th. We're recording this on July 1st. Damn, man, the year is flying.
Dude, halfway through.
That's crazy.
It'll be Expo next week.
Christmas in July. Got Charlie at Gulfstream.
Yeah, there we go. I love it. I love it. Too cool, man. Keep the blue side up, as we say at CTP. Take care, and we shall see ya.
See ya.